Jog, men! Jog casually into battle! Jog!
Coming through for the pre-battle gift exchange.
Attention, Spartans!
Welcome to the channel, where we are in the middle of a playthrough of Pericles, the Peloponnesian War, and we have just finished up the theater phase of turn 4. And this is just going to be the cleanup part, and so it's going to end up being kind of a short video. But I thought this would be a good time to get back into the Mark Herman bibliography. In the back, he mentions a book that I think is very important. That is I think I've shown this before, Song of Wrath by J.E. Landon. And if you are any kind of fan of this period of history, this is one you want to read. Very much so. I will warn you, it is kind of academic, although he's a very good writer. So it's not dry academic, but it's, intellectually challenging. I'll put it that way. But very readable. So worth reading. And the reason I wanted to bring it in, because we have our little honor system going here, and Mark mentions in the bibliography he was inspired by reading this book. And kind of, I guess I go over kind of, my experience of it is when I first encountered Thucydides, it must have been in the 90s. And around that time, there was still kind of this, one of the things we do with Thucydides is we tend to take the 20th century Cold War and just kind of just shove it on top of this Peloponnesian War and say, okay, you can like have a manual of a Cold War by reading Thucydides, which is fine if imperfect. Then after the 90s and so on, when it seemed like the Cold War was pretty much over, then people started, looking at... I keep knocking my camera, I'm sorry. Started looking at the Peloponnesian War, kind of, on ancient Greek terms, and like understanding how the Greeks themselves understood it. And so I think this book is kind of a product of that. So that's really a good reason to read that. Although I do see, it looks like, I've been looking around, I see that China is being proposed as the new Cold War between us and the U.S. And there's even a book called has the subtitle of the Thucydides Trap. And it looks like we're going back to the whole, everybody read Thucydides so we can know how to deal with China and things like that. But anyway, that's your reading recommendation for the day. Other than that, let's get into the cleanup phase here real quick, and that'll be it for today. Hold on. First, we start with the political capital phase, and as you can see, I am the only one that managed to save 4 extra strategoi, and mostly because I only had one issue, so I was not doing so hot. So I go from 24 to 25. And that's all there is for that phase. I'll do a quick talk of the, this is the part where you check for victory conditions, if victory conditions have been met. I haven't really talked about them because we're not anywhere near the ones, but basically, if you just get so far ahead in the victory conditions, and it's like 3 times as much as any faction on the other side, then it's an automatic victory. The other one is if Athens has no granary, that would be an automatic victory. If they make it to the end of the turn, they have no granary. And of course, Sparta, it's the same rule for Sparta, but Sparta's granary is in its city-state as opposed to Athens. So if you conquer Sparta, you conquer the granary. So yeah, that's how that works. But we're not anywhere close to that, so no victory for anyone. So we go to the maintenance segment, and let's count up all the bases here real quick. The Peloponnesians Spartans have 7 bases, and we have 12 now. I just think that's enough to cover everything, but we'll do some quick mathsies. A reminder, you basically count all the military units. All armies or land units are worth 1, and all navies, no matter what they are worth 2. And if you multiply that by the number of bases, you multiply your number of your bases by 4, and if your military value exceeds that, you have to start trimming troops away. The Athenians are covered, and the Spartans are actually covered, even with all their navies and basically all their units on the board. It all adds up to 28. And that's, so they got it covered. All right. That moves on to the redeployment segment. Now, if you're in territory without a base friendly to you, you can leave one unit in, but everybody else has to leave. And that would certainly be the case in Athens itself. The Spartans will always, the Spartans, in other words, will always redeploy to a place with a red base. And that would be Sparta, of course. And we do leave one in there, and he's vulnerable. He's susceptible to being shot. But he also leaves us room to do raids if we can manage that. These guys don't need to move. Neither do these. We'll leave them up there. Is there anything I want to do as Athens? We have this lovely base up there in Macedonia. But I don't think we need 5 troops in there. I'm going to leave, I could leave just 1, which I should leave. But I'm going to leave 2 there just so I don't have to, I'm going to leave 2 up there just to have maybe a little more mobility in this area. So I don't have to get stuck in Persian areas, or these land areas that are often the Peloponnesian League areas. Okay, I see nowhere else that needs to redeploy. So, we finally have... Focus, please. The will of assembly part. Athens has built a base in Macedonia. Sparta has built a base in Thessalia. So both sides are going to gain 5 honor. And that's it. And so basically, each faction, so all of us are going to go up by 5. So it's a net gain of 0 for anyone. No one's taking the lead here. So might as well do it. Here, we'll just edit that out. Bam. Okay. Move along the board here. And that is that part. We have to remember that we have what's called leader loss when we are still at a state of war, which is the case. And so one of these and one of these into the permanent loss cup. The war is starting to take its toll here, I think. Okay, that is the end of turn 4. We are moving to turn 5, going into debates, starting as in a state of war. We're actually getting to the part where, the board, we're getting to the part where it's actually the Thucydian Peloponnesian Wars, and we're seeing that the map is not a whole lot of action going on, but the map is starting to fill up. And that means I think we're going to see a lot more clashing here coming. We'll go ahead and start turn 5 with the Aris, since we got a little time here left. Might as well take a look at the next card. And I've been living on dangerous times with all these units in Athens for... Nope, we didn't get hit with the plague. Okay. We got birds. Do we already have a birds? I don't know. Yeah, we did. All right. This one's different, though. Athens. Add 2 Athenian land units to Athens if able. No, we've got everything we need on the map, so no. Add 2 Spartan land units to Sparta if able. No, everyone is at full capacity here. So, we ignore that. Okay, we do have will of the assembly. Okay, okay, now we're going to start smashing into each other because both of us have both Athens and Sparta have the same target. Control theater at marker location, which is the Isthmus of Corinth, which is this lovely little piece of territory between Sparta and Athens. Okay, so it is on this time. Okay. There we go. All right. So we have the stage set for turn 5, which may prove to be a little bloodier than we've seen. So I'll leave that as kind of a cliffhanger, and when we come back, we will start coming up with strategies and debating them. Thanks for watching.